Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe Jaya Gora Nitai Jaya Gora Nitai Gora Nitai Jaya Gora Nitai Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. जय युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। सॉरी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So we are reading from Canto 10, Chapter 70, Lord Krishna's daily activities, text number 6, 7, 8 and 9. Oh my God. I will open on the phone. It's too. I cannot read. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. athāpluto mbhasy amale yathā-vidhi, kriyā-kalāpaṁ paridhāya vāsasī, cakāra sandhyopagamādi sattamo, hutānalo brahma jajāpa vāg-yataḥ, athāpluto mbhasy amale yathā-vidhi, kriyā-kalāpaṁ paridhāya hutānalo brahma jajāpa vāg-yataḥ, athāpluto mbhasy amale yathā-vidhi, kriyā-kalāpaṁ paridhāya vāsasī, cakāra sandhyopagamādi sattamo, hutānalo brahma jajāpa vāg-yataḥ. mbhasy amale yathā-vidhi,
kriyā-kalāpaṁ paridhāya vāsasī,
kriyā-kalāpaṁ paridhāya vāsasī,
cakāra sandhyopagamādi sattamo,
cakāra sandhya-upagama sattamo,
hutānalo brahma jajāpa vāg-yataḥ,
brahma jajāpa vāg-yataḥ. yathā-pluto mbhasy amale yathā-vidhi, kriyā-kalāpaṁ paridhāya vāsasī, cakāra sandhyopagamādi sattamo, hutānalo brahma jajāpa vāg-yataḥ. Mataji. hutānalo brahma jajāpa vāg-yataḥ. Atha, then, āplutaḥ, having bathed, ambhasi, in water, amale, pure, yathā-vidhi, according to Vedic rules, kriyā, of rituals, kalāpam, the entire sequence, paridhāya, after dressing, vāsasī, in lower and upper garments, cakāra, he executed, sandhyā-upagama, worship at dawn, ādi, and so on, sat-tamaḥ, the most saintly of personalities, huta, having offered oblations, analaḥ, to the sacred fire, brahma, the mantra of the Vedas, namely Gāyatrī, jajāpa, he chanted quietly, vāka, speech, yathā, controlling. Translation and purport by the followers of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That most saintly of personalities would then bathe in sanctified water, dress himself in lower and upper garments, and perform the entire sequence of prescribed rituals, beginning with worship at dawn. After offering oblations into sacred fire, Lord Krishna would silently chant the Gāyatrī mantra. Purport. Sridhar Swami points out that since Lord Krishna was in the disciplic succession from Kanva Muni, he offered oblations to the fire before sunrise. Then he chanted the Gāyatrī mantra. Text 7, 8 and 9. So I will just chant myself. Upasthāyārkam udayantam tarpayitvatmana kālaha devan rishin pitrun vidhan vipran abhyarchaya chatvamān dhenunan rukma shringinam sadvinam mauktikasrajam payashvininam gristinam savatsanam suvāsasam dadourupya kuragranam क्षौमाजिना तिलैसः अलङ्कृतेभ्यो विप्रेभ्यो बध्वं बध्वं दिने दिने. Translation. Each day the Lord worshipped the rising sun and propitiated the demigods, sages and forefathers, who are all his expansions. The self-possessed Lord would then carefully worship his elders and the brahmanas. To those well-attired brahmanas, he would offer herds of tame and peaceful cows with gold-plated horns and pearl necklaces. These cows were also dressed in fine cloth, and the fronts of their hooves were plated with silver. Providers of abundant milk, they had each given birth only once and were accompanied by their calves. Daily the Lord gave many groups of 13,084 cows to the learned brahmanas, together with linen, deer skin and sesame seeds. Purport. Sridhar Swami quotes several Vedic scriptures to show that in the context of Vedic ritual, a badva here refers to 13,084 cows. The words badvam badvam dine dine indicate that Lord Krishna would give the learned brahmanas many such group of cows on a daily basis. Sridhar Swami further gives evidences that the usual practice for great saintly kings in previous ages was to give 107 such badva or groups of 13,084 cows. Thus, the total number of cows given in this sacrifice, known as manchara, is 14 lakhs or 1,400,000. The words alankritebhyo viprebhya indicate that in Lord Krishna's kingdom, the Brahmanas were given nice clothes and ornaments, were thus well attired. In Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada writes with striking and profound insight on these pastimes of Lord Krishna. The reader is strongly urged to study this book, which contains an invaluable wealth of information and commentary on the pastimes described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Our humble attempt here can never equal the consummate purity and skill of our great master. Still, as a service offered at his lotus feet, we are simply presenting the original Sanskrit text of the 10th canto, word for word meanings, a clear translation, and essential commentary for the most part based on the statements of the great spiritual masters in our line. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this describes about the daily activities of the Lord. So yes, Srimad Bhagavatam is Amala Puranam. So we understand that only those who are non-envious can understand and speak about Bhagavatam. So we read in one of the purport of, somewhere in second canto, Prabhupada explains that it is important to repeat the words of the Acharyas. So in that case, we are just presenting the mood of the Acharyas as it is. And Srila Prabhupada also emphasized this point that hear and repeat. So not much of scope should be used to concoct anything from our own minds, because at least I can understand that my mindset is not purified to have any commentary or any such book. So it is very important just to repeat what Srila Prabhupada has given. So, and also the author here, disciples of Srila Prabhupada, are suggesting to read Krishna book. So on this particular chapter 70 of Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada explains, we will read on only related to this verse. It's a long explanation there Srila Prabhupada has given, explaining how Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, so one should not misunderstand these activities. And he very clearly explains in that chapter in Krishna book the supremacy of the Lord in comparison to demigods, and that we don't have to imitate Krishna, but we have to follow his instructions. So the part of the chapter from Krishna book connected to these verses we will read. As it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has no specific duty to perform in this world. And yet, he acts just like an ordinary man living an ideal life within this material world. So yes, we read in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says there is nothing for me to do. But still he acts, and he gives example of Janak Maharaj, and he quotes this word, Yadhyadachrati Shrestha. So it's important to set this example by Krishna himself as an householder. In accordance with Vedic ritualistic principles, the Lord would offer respect to the demigods. The regulative principle by which the demigods and forefathers are worshipped is called tarpana, which means pleasing. One's forefathers may have to take a body on another planet, but by the performance of this tarpan system, they become very happy wherever they may be, It is a duty of the householder to make his family members happy, and by following this tarpana system, he can make his forefathers happy also. As a perfect exemplary householder, Lord Sri Krishna followed this tarpan system and offered respectful obeisances to the elderly, superior members of his family. So, sometimes, at least I used to have this misunderstanding that once we join Krishna consciousness, then there are nothing prescribed left for us because we are pure devotees. Already that mindset was like that. But here from the example, we can see that it is important, these activities. His next day duty was to give cows in charity to the brahmanas, as the verses continues like that. Every day Lord Krishna used to give many groups of 13,084 cows, which is referred to as badva. Each of the cows were decorated with a silken cover and pearl necklace. Their horns were covered with gold plating, and their hooves were silver plated. All of them were full of milk due to having their firstborn calf with them, and they were very tame and peaceful. When the cows were given in charity to the brahmanas also were given nice silken garments, and each was given a deer skin and sufficient quantity of sesame seeds. The Lord is generally known as Go Brahmanya Hidaya, which means that his first duty is to see to the welfare of cows and the brahmanas. Thus he used to give cows in charity to the brahmanas with opulent decorations and paraphernalia. Then, wishing for the welfare of all living entities, he would touch auspicious articles such as milk, honey, ghee, gold, jewels and fire, and it goes on like that. So this was Srila Prabhupada's comment on these verses from his Krishna book, and this emphasizes the importance of brahmanas and cows and charity for the householders. So we will try to read more on these particular aspects which are emphasized here. So the verse has explained what Krishna was doing as his daily activity. There is similar verse in first canto, and there is an ideal householder, Yudhishthira Maharaj, first canto chapter 13, text 31. It is word by word same, like what Krishna was doing, Yudhishthira Maharaj was doing. 1:13:31. Yeah. The verse says, Ajata Shatru Kitamaitro Hutagnir Vipranatva Tilago Bhumi Rukmai Griham Pravishto Guru Vandanaya Nachapasyat Pitaro Saubalimcha. So, Maharaj Yudhishthira, whose enemy was never born, performed his daily morning duties by praying, offering fire sacrifice to the sun god, offering obeisances, grains, cows, land and gold to the brahmanas. Same. This is what was mentioned about Krishna also. So this is an ideal king, Yudhishthira Maharaj. He then entered the palace to pay respect to the elderly. See? Same order is followed. However, he could not find his uncles or aunt, the daughter of King Subala. Purport. So Maharaj Yudhishthira was the most pious king because he personally practiced daily pious duties for the householders. The householders are required to rise early in the morning. So this is what Srila Prabhupada also established for us. In any ashram we are in, we have to rise early in the morning. Not that only the brahmacharis living in the temple has to follow, but the grahasthas also. The householders are required to rise early in the morning, and after bathing, they should offer respect to the deities at home by prayers, by offering fuel in the sacred fire, by giving the brahmanas in charity land, cows, grains, gold, etc. At last, offering to the elderly members due respects and obeisances. One who is not prepared to practice injunctions prescribed in the Shastra cannot be a good man simply by book knowledge. So, these basic principles we cannot follow. It's a general struggle. Oh, we are working, we have so much responsibilities, how can we wake up so early? But here it is written, the king who was managing the whole kingdom, big planet to manage, was waking up early in the morning and doing all these prayers, paying obeisances to the deities, whole morning program he was doing. Modern householders are practiced to different modes of life, namely to rise late and then take bad tea without any sort of cleanliness and without any purificatory practices as mentioned above. So Prabhupada has this point clear that how the current householders are living. The household children are taken to practice what the parents practice, and therefore the whole generation glides towards hell. So this is a disadvantage of not doing, because we want our children to be somebody pure devotee, but then we don't exemplify ourselves. If we don't exemplify, he just follow what he sees. That's the best education for a child. He just see the parents. If the parents are fighting, he also learns to fight. And if the parents are sleeping while chanting, he understands that this is not some very important activity. So it's very important. If you are spending more time with the mobile phone watching videos on YouTube, then the child learns it automatically. So it's very, very important point Prabhupada is bringing here, that parents have a big responsibility. Otherwise we are spoiling the whole next generation. What are we giving them? Just some burning fire in hand, and they'll be ruining the whole future of the society in a way, because the children are the future of this of the coming time. So it's very, very important for the parents to be exemplary in their behavior. Nothing good can be expected from them unless they associate with sadhus. So the crux is association. So if we have good association, then naturally we are inspired to follow that lifestyle. So the lifestyle of the modern people is working till late hours, sleeping late, waking up late, all kind of a very struggling lifestyle. Then what can we expect? So it is very, very important to have association. This instruction is taken very lightly when Prabhupada says, avoid materialistic association. This is the most serious rule to be followed. We take it so lightly because everything I speak impacts my consciousness. The way I behave impacts my consciousness. Everything I hear impacts my consciousness. Everything I see impacts my consciousness. So this is all materialistic association if it is not connected to Krishna. Not that, okay, now I have to do job, so that's minimum I have to do, I have to meet people, talk to, but we have to be very thoughtful, careful in what we are speaking. Minimum should be done, and it is very much possible that all these services can be managed in a very much Krishna conscious way, provided we have a desire to do it. But if you already surrender to it, okay, now it's not possible, what can I do? I am already a grahastha now, living in the city, I have to work to maintain my family. Okay, nobody is stopping from that. But the only request is to follow the program. So if you follow the program given by Srila Prabhupada, wherever we are, we can still be practicing these principles as explained by Sri Krishna and also exemplified by Yudhishthira Maharaj. So, yeah. So then it was about not able to find Dhritarashtra and his wife. That is the verse, but it mainly brings up the point of following this morning schedule as Sri Krishna was following and Yudhishthira Maharaj was also following. And what is the advantage of this? So we have this verse 3.11 in Bhagavad Gita, that how a householder benefit if he follows this schedule, because we have to maintain the family, it's a responsibility. So how that responsibility is simplified by Krishna's mercy, that is given in 3.11. I could somewhat relate to it. So here the verse explains that the demigod being pleased by sacrifices will also please you, thus nourishing one another, there will reign general prosperity for all. So previous to this verses, Krishna is telling that one should perform yajna. So the sacrifices should be performed for pleasing Vishnu. And then this verse explains that what happens after when we perform the sacrifices, even the demigods are pleased. So the purport Prabhupada writes, the demigods are empowered administrators of material affair. So grahastha means material arrangement is required. So who are the demigods are managing that affairs on behalf of Krishna. The supply of air, light, water, and all other benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of every living entity are entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they are just assistants of Krishna. Krishna is certainly the provider, he is the maintainer, he is our well-wisher, but he has his assistants because he doesn't want to do all these managerial services. So he has his assistant to take care of these departments. So their pleasure and displeasure are dependent on the performance of yajna by human being. So the first thing start is, as we read from Yudhishthira Maharaj, also waking up early in the morning, taking bath, then taking darshan of the deities, and prayers for us is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is the beginning of the day. That is the beginning of our day, trying to please Krishna and spiritual master. Some of the yajnas are meant to satisfy particular demigod, but even in so doing, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all yajnas as chief beneficiary. So this clarity has to be there. So here Krishna is worshipping the sun god, Yudhishthira Maharaj is worshipping the sun god, but the intent is very clear. The intent is to please Vishnu. And a devotee sees the sun like that it is eye of the Lord, it is the source of life in the creation. It is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is the beneficiary of all kind of yajna. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. Therefore, ultimate satisfaction of yajnapati is the chief purpose of all yajnas. When the yajnas are perfectly performed, naturally the demigods in charge of different departments of supply are pleased, and there is no scarcity in supply of natural products. So today, we read in the verse, the abundance of milk was spoken. There was abundance of milk. And now, this word scarcity is so much spoken about today in the world. Everything is scarce today. There's scarcity of food, scarcity of milk. Nothing is available of good quality today. But in Krishna's system, everything was abundant. Nobody was worried about what will I eat. It is said that a devotee, a brahmana, doesn't think what will he get in the evening, because the system was so wonderfully arranged that everything was abundantly available. There was no miserliness in the nature of people, because they were following the injunctions of the scriptures. That is the point. So there won't be any scarcity. We will read something about scarcity also. Performance of yajnas has many side benefits, ultimately leading to liberation from material bondage. By performance of yajna, all activities become purified. Now this is very nice verse from somewhere from some Vedas Prabhupada is writing. Ahara suddho sattva suddhi, satto suddho dhruvo smriti, prithri lambe sarva granthi nam vipramokshaha. As it will be explained in the following verse, by performance of yajna, one's eatables become sanctified. So what we eat has to be sanctified. And by eating sanctified foodstuff, one's very existence becomes purified. By the purification of existence, finer tissues in the memory become sanctified, and when the memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation. And all these combined together lead to Krishna consciousness, the great necessity of present day society. So, ahar suddho, it all starts from the food. It's very, very important to observe what we are eating. We cannot be eating anywhere, anything, thinking that this is Krishna Prasad. And then further development goes when we start thinking how it is grown. Well, that itself is a bigger subject that we are not going into, but it's very important, because if something is grown by sinful activity of killing some other life form, then how do you get sanctity in that? There is no purity in the process of growing the food. So to grow food which is also grown with a pure intent, with love for Krishna, is also very important. So this importance of cows and brahmanas is there, because the brahmanas is the intelligent class of the society. So Krishna was most concerned to take care of cows and brahmanas, because if these two are protected, if these two are taken care of, the rest of the society will flourish. But then the work of the brahmana is to impart that education of how to live a good lifestyle. But that is somehow missing link. So Prabhupada created this brahmana category. We read in many letters, Prabhupada says, we are creating the first class, first brain. The head is required. Without head, the society is headless. Nobody knows what to do. So the brain or the head is Brahmanas, and their duty is to guide the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas and the Shudras how to run the further administration of the Varnashram system. So protection of cows comes next. That is why we see what was Krishna donating. He was giving cows, not any money kind of thing. There was nothing called money at that time because cow is money. We hear that in the dung of a cow resides Lakshmi ji, right? There is some verse like that. So, but what is that Lakshmi? So, with the help of the dung of the cow, we can produce this ahara suddho, sattva suddho. How to get the suddha ahara? When it is grown from the dung. This is what it means, Lakshmi. Not that Shastra will talk about getting money from the dung. It is an absurd idea to think that from the dung we will make money. Shastra can never speak about money. So it talks about real wealth. Real wealth is good health and a good lifestyle. That is the life of abundance. So we see in the lifestyle of Nanda Maharaj that it was a lifestyle of abundance. They were all wearing, even the cows are decorated with gold, the horns are decorated with gold, the hoofs are decorated with silver. What a wonderful there are pearl necklaces to the cows, and plus donating 13,000, one badwa, and like the 107 badwa every day, dine. So it is not a fairy tale that something is just described some fantasy thing, but it is reality. This was like that. That was a real opulence. So dhanena dhanvan, gavayena dhanvan. So the real opulence or the real wealth is one who have land and cows, one who has grains and cows. Dhanena is grains and gavayena means cows. So this is what Krishna was exemplifying his lifestyle, that he was promoting this culture of protecting cows and brahmanas. So this is the duty of the householders to do that. As you were hearing in some classes before, I think from Guru Prasad Maharaj, that householders protect the other three classes. Maintains the other three ashram. Grahastha ashram maintains, because this is the only class which works. So, and Krishna was also a Grihastha and also a Vaishya. He took birth in a Vaishya family with Nanda Maharaj. So, this is very important that we understand the meaning about this lifestyle which is centered around land and cows. And in cooperation with demigod, everything is provided in abundance. We don't have to worry about anything. When Prabhupada writes in that verse, Parjanya anna dhavanti bhutani parjanya anna sambhavat. In that Prabhupada writes that we have to perform the yajna. When we perform the yajna, the demigods are pleased and everything is provided. But we don't follow the process. That is our real struggle. All we have to do is follow the process given to us. We try to manufacture something and do some ugra karma activities. That is deviation. That is deviation from the real service that is assigned to the grahasthas. Then there is verse 14.16 which talks about cows and brahmanas also. In Bhagavad Gita, we will read something from that. There are many verses on this, that how important it is to take care of cows and brahmanas, which is totally neglected by the householders now. So somewhere in the middle of the purport, a human being has no need to kill animals because God has supplied so many nice things. Even indulges in meat eating anyway, it is to be understood that he is acting in ignorance and is making his future very dark. Of all kinds of animal killing, the killing of cows is most vicious because the cow gives us all kinds of pleasure by supplying milk. Cow slaughter is an act of the grossest type of ignorance. In the Vedic literature, the words Gopi, Pranita, Matsaram indicate that one who, being fully satisfied by milk, his desire of killing the cow is the grossest ignorance. There is also prayer in the Vedic literature that states, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmanya Hitaya Cha, Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Nama. By my Lord, you are the well-wisher of the cows and the brahmanas, and you are the well-wisher of the entire human society and world. The purport is that special mention is given that prayer for the protection of cows and the brahmanas. Brahmanas are symbol of spiritual education, and cows are the symbol of most valuable food. These two living creatures, the brahmanas and cows, must be given all protection. That is real advancement of civilization. So Prabhupada is emphasizing this point of protecting cows, and there are many verses on this. And then one more point about charity we will take, because the importance of charity is given here. So this is from one of the class given by Srila Prabhupada on Radhashtami. It was on Bhagavad Gita 18.5 in London, September 5. It talks about brahmachari. Brahmachari means beginning of life, student life. They must be trained up how to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this was the system of education. We understand brahmachari means those who are joining temple, but as we understand from the scriptures, brahmachari means who join from the Gurukul life, like from the beginning of the education system. They join a brahmachari ashram in the Gurukul. This is the first training. The brahmachari is trained up to rise early in the morning, offer fire sacrifice, studies of the Vedas, then Sankirtana. There are so many routine work for brahmachari. So this must be executed. And for grahastha, dana, charity. Grahastha must be prepared or trained up to give charity. And who will accept this charity? The charity will be accepted by brahmachari and sannyasis. Now the vanaprastha, not the vanaprastha. Brahmachari will accept charity on behalf of the spiritual master. So this is important. We are accepting on behalf of we are not accepting to create a bank balance. That, if the temple will kick me out, what will I do in the future? It is not for that purpose we are accepting. We are accepting on the behalf of spiritual master and Krishna. Sorry. And a sannyasi will accept charity only for his maintenance, that's all. The grahasthas cannot accept charity, but a grahastha brahmana, he can accept charity, but he will not, accumulate money by taking charity. So grahastha brahmana exceptionally can take charity, but it cannot accumulate money by taking the charity. Whatever he gets, he must spend. Then dana pratigraha. Pratigraha means accept, but he cannot keep in a bank balance. He must, whatever extra he has got, he must immediately give in charity. Then he can accept. A grahastha brahmana accepts charity. There is a proverb in Bengali. A brahmana, even if he gets 1 lakh of rupees, still he is beggar, because he will not keep it. He will immediately distribute it in charity. Therefore he is called in Bengali Lak Take Pondigi, something, it's not clear. It doesn't matter, he gets 1 lakh of rupees contribution, but still he remains a beggar, because immediately he will distribute. So these things are very important things. So we should not get attached to the money we receive, because being part of this International Society of Krishna Consciousness, we receive a lot of things on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. So it should be given to Prabhupada. We cannot think that because I am doing big preaching, I am doing a lot of hard work, so now it belongs to me. It's not like that. So the grahasthas cannot accept, but the other ashrams also have responsibility. They are accepting on behalf of Guru. That principle is very, very important to understand. Otherwise it becomes entangled. It is generating karma for us. I remember we were traveling with His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and certainly he was very much traveling all over the world. Many, many devotees were inspired, and a lot of donations he was receiving. But the way he used to manage it, he used to never accept on him personally. We used to take it, and then immediately will instruct us, send to this temple, send to Kurukshetra, send to... So wherever different projects in the world were going on, he will send the money immediately like that. So he was exemplifying how he was accepting on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. So it was really nice learning to see that how these principles as given by Srila Prabhupada were so nicely followed. And one time it also so happened that one man came. It was a big crowd, and after the class he said, Maharaj, I want to see you. And then it was a very busy schedule. The Maharaj said, okay, we will see, if possible you can come. And then he wanted to give some donation to Maharaj, but Maharaj didn't accept that. He said, give it to the deities. And then, generally, we were accepting it. But to this particular person, he said, no, give it to the deities. We were in the San Jose temple. So he said, give it to the deities. And then later we figured out that this person was doing beef business. So Maharaj didn't want to accept that karma. We came to know that, I don't know how he came to know about it, but it was so very amazing that he didn't accept his money and said, give it to the deities directly, So he make it put in the hundi of the temple. And so it's a big responsibility. That's the point we are trying to understand, that it's not easy to accept charity. We are taking karmas on behalf of others from whom we are taking charity. So it's a big service. It's a service if done properly. Otherwise, the giver is entangled and the taker is entangled. And we have something from the Bhagavad Gita introduction about how the Krishna system is abundant. It's a long introduction, but in brief, few sentences. This manifestation has its own time fixed by energy of the Supreme Whole, and when its time is complete, this temporary manifestation will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. So everything will be annihilated by the arrangement of complete. So we cannot do anything about it. Generally, there is a lot of hue and cry in this world when somebody dies, or if my mobile is damaged or my car is damaged, but everything has to be destroyed. That is given. Creation, maintenance and annihilation. Who is the cause? Krishna is the cause. So when we can accept creation, then we have to accept annihilation also. We cannot be complaining about that because it is already arranged. Prabhupada is writing here in this introduction. There is complete facility for the small complete units. So all the living beings are the small complete units. There is complete facility for the small complete units, namely the living entities, to realize the complete. So this creation is given for us to understand Krishna and go back home, back to God. That's the whole purpose of this creation. There is no other purpose. So Prabhupada is writing complete facility for the small units, meaning the living entities, to realize the complete, and all sorts of incompleteness. So if I am seeing incompleteness in this creation everywhere, for example, so all sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. Because I have not taken complete knowledge about Krishna's manifestation, Krishna's system, how the whole system is working. I don't understand anything. So I see that everything is incomplete in this creation. So we talk about scarcity today. The Prabhupada speaks in one class that we can feed 10 times population than what we are today. And the world is already saying that the food is not enough. And Srila Prabhupada is speaking that we can feed 10 times the population. So he is speaking about abundance. Because as a pure devotee of the Lord, Srila Prabhupada understands the abundance in Krishna's system. But the political propaganda or whatever we see today is all about scarcity. They are trying to create that fear in our mindset. And so we think that this system is not complete. But it is not the reality. So Bhagavad Gita contains the complete knowledge of Vedic wisdom. So it is important to take shelter of this Vedic wisdom and understand this most important personality, Sri Krishna, so that our faith in the system will be fixated and then we will be able to surrender. Today we were reading chapter 9 and third verse from Bhagavad Gita, which talks about faith. So in that, as the authors also write in these words, it is important to read these books. And same way Prabhupada also writes in that 9.3 that to increase the faith, we have to read Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So the more we read in association of devotees, more we can relish the importance of Krishna consciousness in our life, and it will become more easy for us to think of these daily activities of Krishna, doing whatever services we are engaged into. And that is the perfection of life. Thank you very much. So any comments? You have 10 minutes.
So I remember when I was in Los Angeles, when Srila Prabhupada was visiting Los Angeles, we would be preparing prasadam for breakfast, and we'd be listening to lectures. And also, when Prabhupada wasn't present, we would be listening to lectures that were recorded. So in one lecture, Prabhupada said that eating meat makes the brain blunt. He used that word specifically, blunt.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said by consuming milk products, it builds a finer brain tissue so you can understand higher truth.
Yeah.
In this regard, when I first became vegetarian, my mother was concerned, and she took me to a doctor and said, "You'll become anemic." And he said, because you are from Indo-European stock, you need to eat meat. But because I had faith in Krishna, I didn't believe that. So many ways, if you have faith in Krishna, then you can defeat this doubt.
Yes.
But you have to have faith in Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you. Behind.
I had a question. Thank you, Prabhu, for the nice class. I had a question in terms of practical application of, say, like the standards for a grihastha brahmana receiving charity and then spending immediately. Now we live in a societal structure which is based on scarcity, but then the ideal culture that we hear about is based on abundance. And so navigating how that works, where like one's rent, or there isn't just land available by which one can be live by the patronage of a king or someone else, where it's easy to live someplace. Everyone's struggling to find even just basic necessities like accommodation. So if you have any insight as to how one may be able to aspire for these types of ideals eventually in the world as it is.
I mean, all I can see here in Vrindavan, whatever I have come into association with devotees, I am only 3 years here. So, we have seen many devotees who are like that. They don't accumulate, and I don't think they are struggling. So, it depends on how much we are sincere and how much faith we have in Krishna. Like as Prabhu mentioned, that the whole society thinks that if they will not eat meat, they cannot survive. But if you have that faith, then he understood that principle. So it's all about faith. If I understand that Krishna is maintaining us, then he certainly, Prabhupada speaks in one class that somebody might take up a job and earn money and think that that money is maintaining, but actually that money is not maintaining, Krishna is maintaining. So we go to the doctors to get cured, to get a medicine, but that medicine is not curing, Krishna is curing, he says like that. Otherwise, why would anybody die then? So it's all about faith in Krishna's system, and that comes by more hearing and chanting, more in association of devotees, most importantly chanting the Hare Krishna mantra attentively. And when that faith increases, these things will be revealed to us. But it is certainly the only practical way to live life. Because we are trying our way to make bank balances, take mortgages, but the point is, are we getting a lifestyle? It's not a lifestyle. No good food, no good air, no good relationships. It is still not good anyhow. To understand it differently, what we have is also not good. Then why not to try what Krishna is saying? That sounds to be more practical. This is already proven impractical, what we are living today. But somehow, because of the lack of faith, we think that this is like little way beyond to achieve. But this is very much achievable, what we are reading in the Shastra. We just have to take that step. Like Arjuna was not ready to fight. But the moment he accepted to fight, everything was done for him. Because Krishna was anyhow showing him, okay, they are all going to die, everything is arranged for you, all good. So similarly, everything material life is arranged for us. Only free will is to serve Maya or Krishna. So if we choose to serve Krishna, everything is anyhow provided. So in my understanding, it's all about our faith, and that comes by blessings of pure devotees. It's not that we can do anything about it. We have to serve pure devotees and seek for their blessings. Like Srila Prabhupada, the disciples served him so much that they all become pure Vaishnavas, Like Prabhu is from a background where meat eating was common food. And they all become Vaishnavas just by serving a pure devotee. So, And Prabhupada was exemplifying that. There were, again, coming to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he was working and the whole money he was giving to Prabhupada. Entire money he was make from a salary. There are many disciples of Prabhupada were like that. They will earn outside job and give 100% money to Prabhupada. And Krishna was maintaining them. So I understand that we generally get sold out to this idea what we see around. But it's not about that. We have to get sold out to the idea in the Shastra. That is the way to move ahead. Thank you. Just behind.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavata Pranam. Thank you so much for this wonderful class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have one question regarding, as it was mentioned in the beginning of universe, that Lord used to worship the rising sun. And at other place in Srimad Bhagavatam or in Krishna book, we read that Lord condemned the worship of demigods, like as we hear the pastimes of Indra and Govardhan Leela. So how should we take it? Like at one place, Lord is himself following that daily routine and worshipping, like sun is also a demigod. So how shall we take it?
Yes, so as we read also this example of Yudhishthira Maharaj was pretty clear that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But these were some routine activities where they were performing as a householder, because Varnashram also has a prescribed rules and regulations for householder. So when we talk about pure devotees who are beyond the modes, they are like performing these rituals for the forefathers. So it is not for one who has transcended the modes, but because we have not transcended the modes, so we worship these personalities because they are also empowered, authorized administrators by the Supreme Lord. They are not ordinary persons. Like we sometimes think that, oh, demigod. No, they are also devotees of the Lord, and seeking their blessings for furthering our service to Krishna is very good. I mean, Bhagavatam has a verse which says that we bow down to every living being, even to an ant, because we see Paramatma in the Lord is present in every species. So with that understanding, we worship them, not that we worship them as an understanding as they are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is how I understand. Maybe somebody can add to it. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
the answer. Thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Dharanam. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. Prabhuji, as it was mentioned in the translation that Lord used to give charity like 13,048 cows, sesame seeds, linens and deer skin. So my question is, why Lord used to give deer skin?
Because it is recommended in the scriptures when they were doing these penances in the forest, they need an asan for that. So this is again not from deers which are killed to get this skin. We immediately go like that. If you go in the forest, like yesterday we were there in our forest in Ajay land, we could find a big skin of snake. So nobody killed the snake. So these are things naturally available in the system. Not that they are killing it for that purpose. So this is mentioned in the scriptures like cow dung, as we also hear that we use cow dung for the yajna ceremonies. So but then the stool is impure. So certain things mentioned in the scriptures, we just accept it because it is mentioned in the scriptures. But I don't know the detailing about what is so purifying element about the deer skin, but it is some repelling properties are there, okay. So when you are meditating, no other thing will come and disturb you. So everything has a purpose, but certainly it is not violence that they kill the deer and accumulate it, because every species has to die naturally. So from that it can be used. Even like for our mrudangas, we use this skin from the cows, but this should be ideally from the cows which are leaving the body naturally. So it is again used for the purpose of service like that. But not killing is recommended in that. That was your question, right?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we end it here. Thank you all very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्ण. 9 बजे एकदम भगवान ने सही